This is where I stream my YouTube channel stuff. If you're just here for IDV, no problem. We'll be back live tomorrow with more IDV action. I think Eden had something to say about that. So if you want to message me the details about like potentially not streaming tomorrow, please let me know. Or at the very least, not IDV. We can definitely make that happen. Tomorrow and the day after, I'm not exactly sure what the schedule's looking like, but I probably won't be streaming Friday. Which means that like if I don't stream tomorrow, our next stream will be Saturday. I most likely am going to be streaming tomorrow. It just might not be IDV. But yep, I'll see you on my other channel real soon. So thank you guys so much for coming to watch my IDV stream, and stick around for some Limbus Company. Sorry, thank you so much for linking my socials, by the way. Thank you, Wolfies, for joining the live stream. Make sure to check out my other socials. Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you. New managing moderator. Okay. So, let's turn on the audio now. And then we're in the right category. Oh, I only got 300 this week. I don't know. I feel like... I'm going to play Minecraft tomorrow. I'm not going to be playing Minecraft tomorrow. I have a Deadlock collab. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners, but never before had I witnessed this many people gathered in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seemed to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking for salt, apparently the most knowledgeable of them, when it came to funeral processes and etiquettes. All manners of questions for pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in the grim manor in T-Corp? Thou speaking of the funeral held for young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead? Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Wi-Fi Association notarization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it's just an intentional anomaly to prevent family strife. If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it. The name of the deceased was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I've thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, isn't it? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the events at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now grieving a brother who had conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as it was proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and the Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will, I assumed that that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see that place that follows proper funeral procedures. I traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've been to a legitimate funeral. Thank you, Lurk. The one at Wuthering Heights was the one more proper funerals. If only the pretending to have a process, they at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems that funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time off just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then what are the other options that people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere, just to have them stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors. You know, rumors that being valuable buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis or all that rot. Better to let the dead go in peace than bury them in a grave, just for some sods to lay or desecrate it. In Holmgren, people tend to set up graves, if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee that they wouldn't lose their burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Oh, this foolishness, all of it. Comfortable the soul of the departed, other mendacity. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all of the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? The funeral did not last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed with a few quick byes that were shorter still. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of the existence with a crackle of firewood. So I suppose you'll be leaving now. Were you staying until Gregor is stable enough to travel? Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after the unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thunder's father. He was given a checkup in Hohenheim, and there was no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned out disastrous, to say at least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being, so he won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while. Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means that I'm telling you is more of a notice to investigation than a request for permission. What investigation? It's a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? She's UT4? Did you know that, to put it like that, boss, not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two of your skin, and maybe some talk therapy, that's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly. No, I'm not giving you my consent. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get Boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department in their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they would have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do is thank us. Be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time. Our researchers are here. Alyssa waved to researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Stay strong, Sinclair. He's just letting him do it. I always thought scientific research was one thing that flamed my passion. But with the recent events that have introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in the book's margin. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't get more than a few weeks off a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with the dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried really him away. Alright, we should get going too. We're going to visit Gregor! Okay, they are. The only one who kept me company now was Ryoshu, who had been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking about at every corner for Vespa in valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Is she assessing the Gesellschaft? I don't know how to say that word. You have some time to spare, manager. As soon as I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had been apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. This is somewhere I intend to discuss with you in Ryoshu, matter that requires your assistance. Wait a minute. Did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she snapped at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret. But I can't help but doubt her choice of method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution, but will requires interpretation to a yet non-linguistic form, equally demanding of it. It would seem that we are in more need of manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as the idea crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCAA employees with their relentless questioning. Why don't you join us too? The LCA personnel who were cornered Don Quixote were rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled. Indeed, this act requires your assistance. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that not entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? I'm not yet concluded mine exchange with the Yellow Harpoon. No true knight would abandon those called for aid. Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to Senator 4 has proven to be counterproductive. However, WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well, prithee. Allow me to be a little of a time to recover the mystery. They are asking you what kind of assistance you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstances is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow had been sufficiently unbearable. Oh my god, I love their two dynamics. It's kind of funny. Hey, Sir Hey. Faust hopes this is not a guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. Hi, in any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you're the one monitoring the entirety of the five-pronged assault operation, and Senator 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help Faust. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim and responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There's one more member you should bring along. Seeing my head tell, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive. Kira. She has regained consciousness. Kira's alive? What the heck? Did you see the new IDs, by the way, Say? The place Hohenheim looks to recover way more of an interrogation chamber. Though every single medical equipment installed around seems to be state-of-the-art, this place looks well equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of the lower body in the reconstruction progress, while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are since cost is reasonable? A windowless room thick with the sharp scent of medicine chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look that much different from how she appeared when I was looking through the Sinner's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of the extraction? It hasn't yet begun. Actually, we are waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been engaged in analyzing documents and terms discovered by the House of Spiders. Then what's she even doing here? There's work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from the recent inhabitants of the House of Spiders. And following discussion with upper management, I've decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely and perturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain as the turn goes. Without such forecasts on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this route, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting, reassess your worth, or shall we say lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words like a prickle and sting, but the Kira almost felt as he had traded a usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it where it hurts. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyways. It's not like you're going to let me live. Not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. So you anticipate some form of corporate or level of retaliatory response against your person. That's indeed a curious line of reasoning. Though I must tell you, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate such as the Middle, corporate entities of the cities tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of information that can be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed on the tutelage of the Great Brother of the Middle, these two considerations are likely to increase your value in the eyes of the company. You all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? The heck are you on about? The other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediate steps such as this. Even without resorting to such method, Methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth theorems, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks, and stimulations, of course. Procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LC department refers to the distance itself for some uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share similar predilections. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? That feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting trail of the thrust again, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim started in the room, leaving to deal with Kira. What should I even say? I was still caught in thought when someone had quite unexpectedly made her way to Kira. Yoshihide, you. Heard you got stabbed in the back from Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that, to aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in the family. Ah, family. Coming from him. A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That guy Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He messed up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member no one wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising it's the ST for the bowl cut too. Same tastes, ho. Young Ryoshu, could it be thou hast thus harbor passionate zeal for fix? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth. She smoothly chimed into the conversation. So what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. CQ or I'll sink you right this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. Sink isn't such a bad way to go if you're keeping on taking loyalty act straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so badly. That actually worked? Fixers who got in a blaze of glory aren't exactly the strong ones. It's the ones who survive, the ones who live to see another day that keep getting stronger. Anyways, Yoshi, what's up with you talking in weird abbreviations? Like sync. That's so random. Who even says that? But is this the right call? To her, we're probably people who need to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle star excuse for loyalty means so much to the stray that she'd bite us? No, better to hear from her instead. Tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's because Papa was weaker than y'all. Yeah, you're this jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back, and we called Hohenheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. You won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let's head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders with Kira trailing behind us. Looks like she was smelling something particularly fishy with us. I feel so bad for Kira. She's kind of a spoiled brat. I don't know if I really like Kira or empathize with her very much. Hold on, let me check if I did this yet. Nah, nothing. Should I use oh, that's right. I kind of want to use this. Or should I save this for later? They're about to be... What is this? Oh. Wait, how come Mersault's not in here? Is Mersault not out? I guess not. Use it? Mersault is free? Oh. Well, maybe I should just wait for the next IDs. Because the next IDs are coming out next week, no? It's fine. I'll just buy what I can buy. Who am I gonna get? Please, someone I don't already have. Oh my god, I got it! No way! Nice. Yeah, I guess I don't have to wait to do this week's mirror dungeon, I suppose. Well... Hold on. Let me, dump everything I got into her, I suppose. Where is she? Hear that?
서로 다른 생물의 뼈마디가 맞물리는 이 맹렬한
All right, we're not gonna read her part because it might be spoilers for the story that we're currently doing.
구조적으로 비틀림 하나 없이
Here we goes.
착. 잠깐.
The name comes from a novel by Albert Camus. I guess I don't need these roadie shards anymore. Dang, it takes 83 tickets to get to 60 now? Jeez. Well, I have a max level ring roadie now. Do I want to use a box? Yeah, why not? Cannot deploy Gregor yet. Who should I run? I don't think I stack anything because I don't really need to. Oh, yeah, I need to run these IDs. Probably not gonna run that one. So this is like the charge bleed team that I have. But I think I want to run something else. Charge bleed. What if I run this? Instead of her, I run... Who are the ups here? Uh, 40, 20, 20, so it's 80. Where do I see the bonuses? Oh, just these two? And then he's up here for 1,000. Okay, I can't really get him yet. How come it's not 20% gain? Ooh. It's a maximum of 120, so... I have to use pointless saying. 20, 40, 60, 100. If I had... I do have Ring Otis, but I think I just select her and don't use her, right?
이 떨림. 파시아도 기대되시나요? 가시죠. 화투패 1패 의뢰인 가시죠. 화투패 1패 의뢰인가요?
That's 120. Okay. It's also an easy start. 30 gigabytes?
저 살점을 찢으면
Good night. Good night, Casey. Have a good night.
친해지겠지?
Point saying, yeah. Passed since our last visit, the place looked like markedly different from what we remembered. But the Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered with white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed around the back doors. Who might those people be? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. A guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. These introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house from back doors. Wayfarer Company, a company entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has on prior occasion been referred to as the new or aspiring W Corp. They're the new W Corp? Dang, okay, that's interesting. I love that. Though the name isn't an official one. Wayfarer, that's cool. I like that. Our employees also have taken you calling the new L Corp something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. I remember the company vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free-falling at this point. And these are the managers and the sinners of the LCB department, our field operations unit frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations units are almost always understaffed anyways. The support you provide is more than sufficient. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise, before Faust could relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if taking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to the script he had rehearsed. I heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions that T-Corp has leveraged to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public, but what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, you're an interpreter. In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyways. She quietly came to my side and answered her earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He was referring to the monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Hubert T. Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how that rumor spread. We reviewed the agreement. Now I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about what these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head with a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of information that she had. Honestly, pretty much nothing if it's Robo-Unk in his room. I've seen Albiba hit up that door, and the other one's over there when she was popping up for farm stuff. The farm stuff, but... Farm? Oh, it's gathering materials. I see. What kind of materials? Human guts and all that. She'd come back hauling piles of them, so they're probably connected to some backstreets area. Backstreets, huh? Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally what I got for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira's stiff expression. Even before I could register what happened, Kira's head jerked to the side and suddenly punched by Alan. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have completely caught her off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow fell off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact, the chain of the actions were there. It just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What's wrong with? As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. What manner of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team leader Alan, that sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand we may choose to terminate tonight's joint agreement without delay. My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. He gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics, presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Senator Ryoshu, give Manager Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring's protected turfs. The other two on the left, I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But IH and I, where they actually... Honestly, no idea where they actually lead. It's all blurry. It seems that all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We know that the doors will likely connect to perceivable areas. There's already a big improvements in terms of the Intel Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress, which means there's less of a chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past these doors. Alright, then I'll proceed with the connection verification. Which doors shall we test first? We'll start with the one Senator Ryoshu mentioned. You don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignore Akia's jab. Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door opened beyond us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues, or perhaps taxidermed animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was also quiet. It was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote. Holy, this scale is just insane. That's the whale from the Aid Association Great Lakes Special Issue. Kira, who seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shot these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lakes whale. Doesn't look like the one we encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're not. Duh, those robo-unks did something that Ring has those zoos where they put monsters on display live. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. It looks crazy sick though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display on the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote? The eye of a second kindred, House of Tepes. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whales was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on massive, more gruesome side of things. Started with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery of the school of Fauvism, probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish the search transition, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning towards us with the sounds of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. That's really cool. I love this, like, theme of the ring. The presence, it's kind of like Papa's. In no way. That's not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As the tension thickened, one of the strangers, who wore a particular bone mask, stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal parts of curiosity and delight. Hi, Toy! I'm alright with this, but I'm also missing the cult. This is kind of like a cult. I'm a slave of the Apple ecosystem, I don't know if it's gonna work. Hey Irene, how's it going? Hi Hikaru, what's this? This is Limbus Company. They've actually started using Limbus Companies. 我觉得这个是最好喜欢，我最喜欢的故事。The voice that spoke to us carried equal parts of curiosity and delight. You came through that door, then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from its parents' webs. How many years has it been? Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocity, yet carnivorously resents howling. Rings the bell? You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it not? That's right, Emile Benoit. And they say that you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tacitly of it hides and guts made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshi was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro, but I had a feeling she was in fact dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members in an intense glare, sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim, without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed in the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is by its nature a time-consuming work we cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make the suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, mayhaps with Hohenheim head in the right mind, nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he had opened his mouth as though to retort Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes, he saw it looking at her. He quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end, their gaze was Ryoshi's blade. Urashiki. I was going to try using it anyways. I've long waited to see if Maestro's death was indifferent. Telling him that we're just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite fascinating specimen to his artist in the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration material that's so conveniently be delivered to them. Is it improbable they will allow us to return unharmed? Faust is right. Shino and I are geniuses. Ryoshi is a wheeler Urashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has in us, but even if I knew nothing, they would not let us go easily. Think of the woman as Lei Hang. Do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rice. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowly down the flow of time. A cut from their Arashiki, it doesn't matter, give us the real fighting chance. Might at least stall the Maestro long enough to give us some time to give away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. Though if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show promise of excellence. Above all, this gallery of the School of Fauvism, and mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without a necessary fight if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here. A masterless one at that. According to Arashiki, makes it worth the cost. If you want to taste. Confusion flicked across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The locked house of spiders used to bind Arashiki know this, so why? Why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering the relic, were they false? The Maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked nothing more than light gash, yet the Maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yushihide, what do you think the serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student, and he'll give the same predictable answers. Deadly venom, the sleek scales, why it's lamentingly disappointing. The Maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty. He seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine, linked with the chain, and the jaw, bound not by bone, but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admired their structural refinement. The thrice coiled ring around her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls in the ceiling suddenly began to echo, the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What brings me to ask, what better way to claim the delivery of promising material with a single bite than the work of art fashioned from a snake? The Maestro plunged her arm into the long serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated pressure as oppressive as that of the Nurse Fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute to go, step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through the hurling motion, and the one that intercepted the blow was Kira, struggling to strike back against the serpentine art with her steel-sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart? This wasn't the plan at all. Obviously not. She could not have changed her mind that quickly, because the look on her face couldn't have been anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, huh? For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've linked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. You must be the new kid Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? If I knew, I'm already regretting it, right? They're definitely going to ditch me here. Why did I even? This must be my instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake out the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on, huh? So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with the suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Shut it, mister. Quit yapping and let me use my blades. Authorized and ready. Lifting rocks down. Kima's little weapons emerged from the sheath. In a metallic plank, she used to recoil the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. The Maestro lashed out again with the monstrous limb, but this foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass for those mostly renowned affixers that have displayed through the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Particularly, however, the sheer force of the Maestro's attack instantly reduced her to red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the ground. I'll seal the door immediately upon the exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic members of Sinners 3. Faust made her exit, was once Don Quixote. The students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us when we have a sizable force of the ring trailed right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in her right mind would have wanted to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well of what fate awaited her. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking diving in like that? You, don't just stand there. Get over here now. Huh? But these guys are gonna come flooding in. You want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this one on me, later you're gonna pay. Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself toward the door, with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed through the doorway, but chasing gave after the sinners with heads, but knockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the maestro could cross over. I'm fine, so she says. Kira would be strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that seem to have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have on my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I called up for the sinners, their voice came from Hohenheim's radio, one after another. Ready for your order, Section Manager. Odison prepared to answer a call whenever, wherever. Hang on, I just need to finish this fight. Everyone to me. That's right, Dante can summon people now. Our cult has grown on me, Hikaru. Yeah, let's play a little bit next week then. King Farlon! Hi, how's it going? Oh, it's not focused. Hey Farlon! Played Deadlock recently? I'll watch on play, but I need to be playing these kinds of games to be able to fully understand what I'm doing. This game is very, very complicated. Well, it's not very complicated at all, but it's very, like, it's very unique for sure. Oh, Kira's here. Hikaru, how's it going? Welcome in, Raiders! I hope you are doing well today. And want to play Roblox? Nope, we got Deadlock tomorrow. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? What were you up to? Oh, finally. This is the color marking done. So I mark with blue. I don't get it. For like non-focused encounters, you can't make her attack, but I suppose it's fine. Slay the Spire 2. I heard they did get a big update. Get the ingredients. Dang, there's a lot of them. Ring versus ring. Say hi. That was not so bad. Honestly, I thought I could get, it's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, I thought it was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We merely beset by ill luck. If you'd listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't going to trust me, weirdos? We'd have opened them all at the end of the day, SD. Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something, or spell it out in a way that's anticipated. That's WA. Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does the team dedicated for this sort of task. but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first floor of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Ellen addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Fovists won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf, Flock. And those Fovist beasts, they have endured a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've gotten that much history, they must know many back doors, but both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourself over much. Even if that were the case, it's unlikely they would move on to the House of Spiders so soon. They could always rush for a surprise attack, though. Even the Fovis Maestro seems to lack clear intel on the event that took place in the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the backdoors and the like. Once all backdoors related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is the new scabbard's fault? Yoshi lifted the sheetless door with an irritated frown, and that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering was faint, was seen by all indeed. Yeah, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshi's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memories of Araya? Ryoshi, is it an SS? A Demon Edge enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those, nor is it a sentient sword. She doesn't know! Hey Lunar, how's it going? Please feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away too. Are we to return to headquarters facility then? No, that won't be necessary. There's a facility that should prove more than adequate. That's so sad, dude. What's the point of forgetting if she's the thread? Why'd they make her do that?
마에스트로가 되기 위해 인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠. 비록
Hohenheim brought us what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following the operations of Spider Pirate, did not exist prior to the House fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into the phenomenon observed during the operation. An example, research subjects study the spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence center number to London sign and the manifestation of a possible future. Oh, looking around, I spotted Sinclair and the group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of cinders who would tag along earlier to watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long will the examination take? With what Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now, which means that it should be finished in an hour from now at latest. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed, it almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshi. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshi and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get Sinclair then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions when an unexpected figure with the pillar caught my eye. It's Vespa! Oh, hey! Sharon snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them. Sorry, but I think there was some misunderstanding. Verge kick his ass. Not only is this a matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving that on the table unattended. Still, I prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll be put me in a tight spot. Understood. Karen's super sulky mode engaged, not talking for half a day. Deploying super pass bitter candy. Beep beep mode disabled. I'm sure it's an appropriate question, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Try and forget this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on the unscriptable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief song off Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this so I don't have to think about burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute, I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know. Yeah, I still see you gobbling up my shares. Hey, Beef, how's it going? Take a lurk. She took my snack too, Bird. Kick his ass. Rodian. I'm aware that the snacks total budget allocated to each center is funneled into your snacking expenses. Hold on. And now you're rating the LCE supplies as well? Kill, that's totally been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that and this is this. The lines of Virgilia's frown look deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out with this endless style of snack-related headaches and satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research of the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing particularly of significance came out of it. Observation of the sign has been so far limited to 2 individuals, Manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign, and the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, the records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the researchers' effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the regular phenomena are tied to locations where the battle took place. By individuals bearing signs, do you mean people like Damien and Sanson? Wait, could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some supernatural future self just to wreck everything? Even Sonia? I should step in and put an end to the subject before Rodia gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, you know, those layers of light rings Damien used to finish off Cromer, or Sanson dragging us into a story, those could be it. Does seem plausible. So none of this information we can confirm yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion on the subject cannot venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be a necessary response in present. This is at best grounded in supposition, but it would seem that researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that's a bit of a sign, maybe some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But now, as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there's presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. I see. Then nothing may come out of the dragging off Sinclair for that research. Oh yeah, thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyways. No, I mean, I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try to go along with it. The old Sinclair wouldn't even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately for the better, I think. So did anything happen what we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, a small skin sample. No, they're also checking the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe when you remember from the battle exactly what has happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return. No, I don't think they'll ever come back, actually. Thoughts that they only exist with my future self or so. Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem, in such cases. That Sinclair is merely one branch among possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future was scattering in grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse the courses and trace their path back to the self that exists now. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but plausible interpretation. Here you go again. More of that nonsense only you allow to understand. Boy, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? Then some part of him's gotta be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps you can still pull off some of the tricks from back then. Heard you kicked off proper out there. Even not pulled out the trick you pulled up from the plastered old geezer, right? Not just that, he was using the Hmong technique quite effortlessly too. What, that glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 different of them coiled around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? Thing is, this is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is the glowing ring thing? Maybe some technique that has its physical capabilities. I mean, I guess that flashy aura makes you real tough one's part of it. But there's gotta be more, right? No, could be a secret. Look at that black coney later, that lay hang prick, and the nurse fathers who fought. Lots of them with the finger, ain't they? The notion seems to unravel, for even when the LCD, those were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius too. So what, only proper bastards could use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze to Virgilius and Vespa. I only learned to wield it from my team leader too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are without proper sources. Rumors, particularly around the elites, fixers, and association leadership, that there exists a powers called Shin capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor among fixers, sayeth thou. Yes, even the technique to manifest how-to tips really spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest magazine bonus video. Bro was popping off with it. Straight up aura farm with a shiny mount wrapped around the weapon. It must have been my eyes that are privy to seeing such a marvel in the video. Wait, are you serious? It's in the latest issue, literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it. Videotape, huh? Alas, for many weeks I've been stranded on Mephistolis, reaving me for the chance to read her not only prior chronicles, but the latest one as well. Woe is me, when I return I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of veteran fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of reduction, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the Mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancements. There's no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion, and depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands on reach levels comparable to the egos you use. You mean to say that execs toil upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you like. From what I observed, it appears that a technique reserved for those considerable strength at our current level, it's not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it. Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research. According to her, physical strength itself is bearing one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Jarl Harpoon says, it is in essence a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided that you know the proper method of training. Vespa shows visibly twitched the moment Yellow Harpoon left Virgilia's lips. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. Yellow Harpoon, huh? Well, it fits. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes and uses a harpoon too. Can you argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even sinner Yisang's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must the self contained chosen as the point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Even so, it could be a mistake to assume that the power anyone can grasp with ease. Who's that? Who's the hot man with his hair slicked back and a huge heart? Who? As long as you're bound by the contract, the sooner your ability to wield it is severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come with extraordinary circumstances. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm, and asked it as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the Milliner's father didn't use any Shin or Mom. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid profession like that. It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such power in the first place. Vespa's response always come back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turned to his topic of fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling to a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than you are an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line, you will be the one who pays the price. There's nothing Virgilia said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LSE researchers, and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't even mean no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with the thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversation about what had happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. Before we knew it, Honheim and Ryoshi returned. I waddle in. I take the fridge. I vault to space. Hi, Gamma. Welcome in. Hello, gamers. Welcome in. Pre-contract, you saying? I know, right? Dang, it's 4 o'clock already. I've been talking a lot, too. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword swing is not sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshi simply dismal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It's too mature to deliberate on this matter. The state of existence under the question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even so, that survival is a fixable variable. And every constitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility. The probability approaches zero given the limits to today's technology and conditions. We are researchers inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There needs to be no need to fixate on the possibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead us to restoring Senior Ryoshi's memories. Though again, that too is a mere possibility. Far more practical avenue for pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That would be all. Hohenheim himself out there, clamping his mouth shut as any further exchange might scatter and mess up theories he constructed in our conversation. Alright then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Punching up through the ring gates, the students were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going on the forks had long stopped moving. It was pretty clear to me that they'd been intently listening to the conversation. Where to? Oh, that's right. Forget the rest weren't here with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I've been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war executive manager? You're talking about me? Yeah, I guess I'm working with them too. Best remember to check carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you'll be held accountable with dogs. Yeah, sure, whatevs. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff hands shot off the moment I finished speaking. I very much like to accompany you, Executive Manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, Executive Manager. Otis understands better than anyone you're concerned about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with a handful of soldiers on your command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid I will be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just have to keel over the moment you summoned me. Feels a bit dodgy. Better I stay by your side, ain't scrapping it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if she hits the fan. A researcher and finished hold to my efforts. I shall join you once it is found closure. I don't think I can be much help wherever I go. I'll pass. I'll follow if that is your order, Manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It's probably okay. I can always summon again if it gets too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. Heathcliff and Ryoshu? I know. Did you guys see Ricardo Heathcliff? Oh, there's a fight here.
채워지지 않을 공허를 남겨주지.
Hey Dan. Why no Roblox tomorrow? It's because I have a collab. You've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated with the doors, the highest probability leading to the rings gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but pull up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. Huh? Are you saying there's more to tell us about the doors? Yep, that door over there. Pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in all hyped about some canned whatever it is. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle? Papa go in there to cross out vengeances. From what the book says, it's probably a turf protected by a thumb's subsidiary or something. Unlike earlier, when she offered only vague snippets, even about just a single door, Kira is now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seems solid, even to someone as clueless about the back doors as me. She's far more cooperative than I anticipated. Even after that, Alan's character wrapped her up from what I hear. Yeah, you think she'd climb out of spite. I wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let her guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. Freaking, I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know. Alright then, based on the intel, I'll proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As to the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking even though I'll let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him, flashed a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we need to start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? They all look about the same, but just with the closest one. Well, Alan did say with the safest one, so it should not matter which ones. Just as I reached the nearest door for Heathcliff told me, Ryoshi suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door, it feels familiar. You recognize that door. I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshi stopped speaking in fragmented memory painted over parts slipped into my mind. Sorry, it hurts a lot. I should have finished my homework faster. I know, let's go for a walk. I don't recall much about it. That memory just now could be tied to Araya? Lady Hexen, thank you for the follow! Let's start with that door. Patient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. This place is, judging by its state, seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest, mostly likely a park. I saw it walking here dragging some animal along. It means they've got money to burn. Proper rich spot. The walk that passed Ryoshi mentioned her memory, and said people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together, and the voices memories I saw in the house of spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurts a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? There's this workshop Dad always visits. The door that's connected to the park. Unshrimp? You got it. We can go right now. Ryoshu's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Very, verily, such gentleness doth seem most unlike the young Ryoshu. A clock. Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on, you know it's not something I can control. GG. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest around everyone, just like what we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Which probably means, why are y'all staring at me? That's so random, what the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what, you guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lindayu and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection with Ryoshu, so I guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound that comparable old young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment, with the spiral driving through her. The first ever leash looking back. It might have been kinder fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal. How can such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her death. I don't recall why. There was this day when Saru wouldn't stop working in pain, and I shut myself in my room crying. You were? Not someone else? Who else? OC, it was me. Even after witnessing the fragments of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day, and what I received was something he called the Beast Bone Blade, a tanto that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way. I always knew there was something creepy about Robo-Unk. Well, that's why he killed your dog. No, he didn't kill Saru. Tanto was alive. Did you say alive? Bloody hell, right nutter, that psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like adornments, and they stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight. It felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her for time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why do you still mess with the art thing then? Let's be honest, after seeing something like that, you want to steer well clear, right? Right, those things he called artworks were all so cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't really checked out other Rings artworks aside from Albina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that. But yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes for real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first, yet as I learned more there were some facets that suited my tastes. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations. From what you've told me about Callisto, it seems like he failed to stick to his own advice. There's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible. There's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell, how do you end up getting used to that kind of thing? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... The scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled, but there was once a strange liveliness to it, as though a quiver between fear and anticipation. Night terrors. Crying from nightmares in the House of Spiders? There's actually someone who got scared of the ring stuff back in your day. I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back. Yeah, let's. Nothing else is worth checking here anyways. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. She stood in front of the artworks covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here. There used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse stuck him, but the bastard went about fussing saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. What's wrong? Over there. I thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you returned, Yoshihide. I decided to attempt installation art of somewhat larger scale this time, but ran out of space in my gallery. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached the age when she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. It would. You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to your room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. It lacerated memories which could never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it'd never truly reach her. I see. This hollow void. This must be Araya. The sensation and emotion for quest been empty began to entangle Ryoshu's memories, and that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The softer rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately none of the places we ended up stirred Ryoshu's memories any further. Pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. What the? How'd they get in here? Startled, Kira's pointed head where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden beneath tents of sorts. Those ring assailants were before. They probably infiltrate via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of Nurse Springfather's artworks. Get on with it. We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. What? But I thought Robounco's washed. He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here. Does his artwork possess value in of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them, pretty funny. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on the description plaques, pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find causes to harm the wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here, except the manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Otis is right. Better to wipe them out than trying anything stupid. Guys, looks like we're gonna have a job to do. Lend me a hand. But it should be fine. Hey Hikaru, how's it going? How have you been? You been playing some League lately? Oh!
단순해서 족한 9번 수감자.
The soundtrack.
좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온다면
Makes sense. We're in Ring Nurse Father's
준비해두지.
spot. Song's so peak. I know. I think the Thumb and the Ring has some of the best soundtracks. I was surprised to hear it because they're dead. I'm good. How are you? I'm chilling.
죄의 대가를 치르지 않을 거라 생각해. 오산이라 말해주고 싶어. 그래, 딱 한쯤 죽여버려. 13조 2항에 맞추려면 그게 제격이지.
I remember when this idea used to be crazy. I was like the piano sound from Intervallets. Yeah, they had another one when I was in the Focus Gallery, but I haven't listened to the full thing yet. This one's better. Will you play Roblox next week? I don't know. I'll have to consider it. Usually when I play it, there are people who join in, but it has to be
골치 아픈
enough
것들이
interesting, I suppose.
조각이 되었군요. 나한테 나쁘지 않은 성과입니다.
Oh, Kira's still here. Did she charge or something?
그간의
She's
전투
bleed burning as far as I know.
적합한 조치였어. 그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하면 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한
Do you know how many parts are there for, actually I can just look this up. Limbus Company.
결정, 해제, 초월,
골치
지령에게
아픈
불확실한 것은
것들이
없네.
고기 조각이 되었군요.
어.
단테
예측할 수 없게.
나쁘지 않은 성과입니다.
Queen's Red.
대응 완료.
좋아, 이번에는 제대로 들어가.
It doesn't really say. Do you know how many chapters there are, say? I'm wondering if I'll have enough time to finish it.
속삭.
Because I want to end by 5.
대응 완료.
Dang, you live with 9.
그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면 훌륭하군요.
방금의 공
태어난 곳은
그 자체였다.
It's 70 parts. It's a bit long. We might just stack it up into 2 parts then. Because I think I'm on what, like part 2? It could be more.
이제 그 도통 알아들을 수 없는 말투만 고치면 딱 좋겠어. 4번 수감자.
This Ismail ID is actually so good.
미래를 과거와 같이 왜냐면 예술을
골치 아픈 것들이 고기 조각이 되었군요.
상관없지.
나쁘지 않은
각오될
성과입니다.
시간이야.
이제야
잔
친해졌네요.
This idea is so good. I just never understood that, like, they were charge bleed. I was like, oh, that's charge. But you, like, the egos that give unique charge are kind of few and far between, I think. The last of the ring civilizations have been eradicated. It's all of them? Right. Where the hell are they coming from anyways? Weren't they just the first wave? Had more of saws laying in the back? They have lurked somewhere. According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appeared to cross over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does the destination of another corridor refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall correctly, designated as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of each corridor and their connections to Loci. Your cooperation as will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing on her nails, as if she was going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she's locked in on her decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you, like hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that room as a home, and my memories of it are fragmented at best. The scabbard gets a faint restless stir. Perhaps it could comfort Yoshin the only way it could. And accompanied by its tremors, it began to move towards the corridor in the middle. Nishi's idea is especially good with the AK ego. Is that the loading?
약지에 감긴 세 바퀴의 반지는 마에스트로가 되기 위해
Yeah, I'm on
인정받은
7.
세 가지 작품을
I'm not even
뜻하죠.
close.
서두르지 말고 느긋하고 여유롭게.
The heck, they swiped everything that wasn't nailed down, huh? Fret not, I just find the half-world possessors articulated fixer figurines, video games, and cartridges. I'm talking about a toy box, okay? I had hella many of them anyways. My TV's gone, the couch too. As Kira said, only the conspicuous empty space is left where the television and family couch set used to be. Oh, those? LCE's researchers hauled them away. From the sound of it, they're going to set them up in their staff lounge. As for the leather and the ornaments, they said they'd be selling them off. Yeah? Otis seemed to be noticed something the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. The corners of her lips curled in a faint smile. She spoke of faint nonchalance. Who knows, with sufficient cooperation, perhaps they come to be more receptive to the idea of returning those items. Assuming much? I never wanted it back. Anyways, I'll tell you about what I know, so come this way if you want in. Those two doors here, made from paper and wood, they connect to S-Corp. And the one reinforced with steel, that one leads to V-Corp back streets, where, having lived here and made frequent use of the doors herself, Kira was clearly the right person for the job of identifying where each door a Wayfarer company had asked us to explore led. Directed by Kira and accompanied by Alan, we checked doors one by one. Good work. All data seems to match. Thank you for your cooperation. Until there was just one back door left to open. I know this isn't particularly new, I've got to say. These back doors are just too bloody convenient. Them portals, too. It ain't doing anything shady like warp trains either, is it? You're just as simple as turning the knob and entering. Seems to me you'll outpace your business rivals in no time. I'm a bit hard-pressed to agree with the too convenient sentiment when it comes to using backdoors and portals, but since your intent was to claim Wayfarer's superior over W Corp, I'll take that as a compliment. Did I say something wrong? Every technology comes with a cost, Heathcliff. Aptly said. While this has been a workday relatively free of casualties thanks to the quality of information you provided, do understand that Wayfarer's company's primary services include pathfinding, path security, and path maintenance. Each of these services is fraught with life-threatening dangers for your employees. Some never return after embarking on a pathfinding journey. Some are killed while battling monstrous entities whose exact natures haven't been yet confirmed yet. That appears with liminal spaces between paths. It also costs a pretty penny to keep them secured paths, well, secured. I'd say your operating cost is rather steep side, especially considering that we are also trying to prevent our rivals from taking this corner of the market. Thinking back, I don't think I've ever seen Alan enter a door to a new patient with his helmet off. It must be one of his precautions just in case. Maybe his dry smile and then something like a reaction to anything are hints that he's simply seen too much to be faced by most horrors. Still, our work's gone considerably easier for this job thanks to the help of everyone here. Honestly, this partnership is working much better than I expected. Very well then, let's take a look at the last door. This is the door Papa used to walk through all the time. I followed Kira into the door, and the second I crossed over, a breeze carrying an unfamiliar salty smell tickled the tip of my nose. This one connects us somewhere in the general Great Lakes area. Welcome to U-Corp's giant Stingray port ship. Stingray, huh? Why does that ring a bell? Hang on a minute. It's that place, isn't it? That port ship that's Sullen de Mullix, the private hair salon. Heathcliff chimed with a shudder, as though the thought sheer weight behind him was terrifying. This thought signified then that we should finally be made an audience with the young Heathcliff, and the hairdo most luscious. Quick Quit it with that luscious nonsense, lass. Why encourage me now when we're so cavalier about blasting my villainous aspect at the legs? Indeed, as it is true punishment wrought upon your merry band hath severely outweighed the crime. Must thou not agree, young youthlet, that to put the coupons to use will remedy thy pain of smidge? Ah, bugger it. I ain't even got anyone to spruce up for anyone. Sweet. Then can I use them? We were regulars at the Moloch's place, Papa and me. Papa would ask the middle fam for a favor, and he'd bring loads of coupons back home. They give away a hair coupon every 10 visits, you see, so why am I even yapping about all excited? Hikaru, who seemed ready to launch into a cheerful rant, came to an abrupt pause, like a bike tripping over a ledge. Her face fell as she lowered her gaze as she scuffed a pebble away. Looking back, I guess Papa did hella care for me, so why? But it's also true that these guys went out of their way to get me out of there, even though they didn't know me so well. Why's it gotta be so complicated? Matthias gave you the unaesthetic BC? What the heck's BC? Bowl cut. Bro, listen, like I said, that's not how you shorten these things. For some reason, Ryoshi seemed to be almost gleeful to hear Kira hearing the acronym. I actually kind of like Kira. I might get Kira's, her announcer too. It was reminiscent of the self-satisfied look she had to get confused with the acronyms, especially in the early days of the bus. Thinking back, ever since the English translation became reliable enough, the sitters had lesser reason to voice their frustrations with Ryoshi's acronyms, which in turn gave us fewer causes to snicker about. I'm not sure why, but something about this tells me that she may be making acronyms ridiculously incomprehensible on purpose. If your conjecture is correct, said the manager, she has one of those tasteless sense of humors. From what I recall, the toys and games that he was into was pretty retro. Must have been annoying to play along. At first, but the more I played along, the more I got into it. Still corny and juvenile as shit, though. I know that I ought to conflict with Bimby. Trifling and apocryphal though they might be, yet we were compelled to be hindered towards the interests of the family. Yeah, I wanted to know what Papa was really into to get what he was talking about. Besides, I need to know these things if I want to chat him up about things about mutual subjects, so just tell me about him all the time. Yoshiede. Proud. Proud poop. Not a day went by without saying stuff like Yoshiede learned in 2 days or so. This was Yoshiede's favorite, no? Too bad I wasn't there to tell you that his words weren't worth anything. I once thought the same thing as you do now. A good man, at least among the nurse fathers, caring enough to bring me gifts. But one day I realized he never understood the things I really cared about, even if his life had depended on it. One day, thou sayest, pray tell, was there aught that we exchanged changed thy perception of that man? I don't remember when or why, just that it happened. I might know this. Wasn't it something that happened at school? Papa told me that things started getting awkward between you and him ever since you quit school. I'd never been to school. I never even thought of wanting to go to school. Matthias must have talking about his asking. No way, I even saw a clip of it. What? Papa showed me that video when he was teaching me how to use these doors. I even saw baby you going, I'm off to school, Dad, in that video. So I'm pretty dang sure. Kira went on. Ryoshi's confidence on the initial retort seemed to slip away. I couldn't blame her. So much of her memory had been mutilated. Ryoshi didn't sound like she was denying it offhand, though. She seemed to mean it when she said she'd never been to school and never wanted to. And I glimpsed on the fragment of memory that made her say that. The memory I willed a scene of her from the past suddenly flashed across my eyes. Very well, Yoshiide. I'll register you in an institution that's not entirely dissimilar just from school. Oh, an academy. You sure it was a school? Not like an academy or something like it? Wait, that actually makes more sense. Yeah, must have been an academy, not a school. Academy of Art. Then after a brief moment, she turned to me with a astounded scoff and mild irritation. Clock, you deserve a smack. Ah! They silently smacked me upside the head with their scabbard. What was that for? This memory sucks, Clock. I would have been just fine without it. But at least I got to remember this and that changed my perspective of the dice. Dad, how do I go to a school? School, Yoshiide? Well, I guess you would have wished, let alone need to go to such an institution, when we nurse fathers are here to provide you with all the education we require. You would later find a unique style of homeschooling to have been much more enlightening than trudging through any of the next formulaic educational systems. But Dad, I saw him in the picture book. I don't know, I have friends here. Oh, Rian is pointless. But it is true that the qualities can be learned only through group erudition that engenders competition. I'll register you in an institution that's not entirely similar to school. I intend to send Yoshiide to an academy as part of my educational curriculum. There's an Academy of Art, a subsidiary of the Ring, companionship with other talented children. Approximately her age will nourish the spirit of inspiration that will guide Yoshiide's growth. The prescripts approve! But Callisto, I'll tell you now that you might be making a mistake. And how are you certain of that? Do elaborate if you can, hand puppet of the prescripts, by whom every aspect of existence is articulated. What do you even know of choice? Of what is right or wrong? And off they went. Perhaps a little more situational awareness would have prevented what is to come. Callisto found me rather decent academy. The artworks that used to scare me when I was alone weren't so bad when I was with other kids. No, that's not quite it. It'd be more accurate to say that I started to understand people's perspective on beauty. Of course, I would when all we did was nod along lectures about purple prose, and while making pincushions out of people's bodies like it was nothing. Corpus techniques. Now take a look at the diagram here. Then the mannequins before you. Weave the blood vessels in the same pattern as the diagram. I don't know why we're even learning about corpus stuff in this day and age. Right? I don't get the point of what this log is. Tying a shaping blood vessel to make a color that's dropped ink can do better. I read that in a book. I'm more excited to learn about cubist techniques than this crap. Honestly, why is this washed up movement even part of the curriculum? It's just boring, shallow gore stuff. No, it's gory, but it's boring and shallow only because you guys are bad at it. Aw, you mad because your daddy's a lame corporist? Oh, is he? No wonder her stuff is just, ow. I was taught that people who say bad things about family deserve to get their butt kicked. Them bad-mouthing Callisto wasn't actually what set me off. I didn't have any special reverence or attachment to family like Matthias did either. It's just what I was taught to dislike, that's all. Just one of those tantrum kids that age have. Kids will be kids and all that. I'm home, Dad. Hey, buddy, you're home earlier. Oh man, you must have been playing rough today. You got dust all over. Got into a fight. A fight? Yeah, they keep saying dumb stuff about class and stuff, so I smacked him. What about you? They didn't hit you anywhere, did they, buddy? On my cheek. But it's okay, because I punched them this many more times. Dad, you good? That's my girl. Dad, where are you going? Oh, you know, just got some business to take care of. Why don't you sit tight and work on the coloring book? Daddy will be home before you know it. Is it bro business? No, it's family business. Oh. I didn't see what's so bad about taking care of your own. The snotty little sods don't learn respect until you beat him. If only I'd been simple-minded fool like you, then the story would have ended right there with a pat on my head. Papa, I mean, the middle doesn't stop there. It never does. You hurt a member of the family, that automatically gets you written up in the book. And what he did in the end. Huh? You there, Yoshihade's class is starting already. My diligent little girl. Wonder who she takes after. Dad? I know, I said I'll be back before you know it, but I got a bit lost trying to find my way through the ring bastards' tricky mazes. You know how they are. Oh yeah, and there's so many sniveling brats here. Well, as for their crimes, they slapped my buddy's face so hard enough to leave a mark. That's an arm for you. As for the instructors, well, anyone who agreed they did a sorry job for keeping these tykes under control. In that case, pursuant to Title 2, Section 52 of the book, execution by beheading. They clearly don't get much use for what sits on their shoulders, eh? How do you like it, buddy? Papa's the best, ain't he? How dare he? Such senseless, barbaric violence. Uncultured, uncivilized animal. Do not be discouraged, young dearest Yoshihide. I've eyed out yet another academy worthy of your talents. It's much more significant and prestigious institution this time. I assure you, even an intemperate berserker like Matthias wouldn't dare force his way into such a place, as he did the previous academy. I don't wanna. Yoshihide, I don't wanna go to the academy. I don't wanna go. I don't need friends anyways. For all his posturing, nothing that was ever important to me held any insignificance to Matthias. He took a lot away from me, just to feel good about himself. So I hoped he more than anyone would never find out about the things I held dear, because I was afraid he would take them away from me like he did the others. But he'd always catch on faster than he had any right to. Every contract that took me away from the House of Spiders made me tremble with anxiety, because I was worried about, I don't remember what. But I do know that I could never stop thinking about my room. Whatever occupied the room in my absence must have been the most precious thing to me in the world. The scabbard which had been stirring lightly as Ryoshi recounted her past soon began to rattle audibly. It's doing that thing again. Ryoshi patted the scabbard with a gentle, reassuring hand. The scabbard that was once Araya, a memory without attachment. It appeared to me as though she was pacifying a crying child. Seeing that gesture, Heathcliff really cast a sullen yet faintly expectant gaze toward Ryoshi's scabbard in my device. He must be thinking back to his last conversation with Catherine. But Catherine's existence, unlike Araya's, was erased by the golden bow itself. I doubt this device to do anything for Heathcliff at this point. From everything we know, the nurse father seemed to have been the least awful parental figure in your childhood. Huh? Yeah. Didn't know that Robo-Uncle was such a radical guy. He sent you to an academy like you wanted, and even got angry on your behalf. Hazy memories. Almost forgot to mention. A few days ago, Callisto left a snowman by my pillow as a gift. It was made of heads. Heads, yes, decapitated heads from an incident at the academy, threaded together into a sculpture. Thinking back, it was one sorry excuse for an art. He's sorely mistaken if he thought some low-effort stuff like that could make me feel better. Could have spared us the details, Les. Well, with that covered, you guys want to head back? Hang on. What's up? Gonna get that luscious treatment before heading back? Look, there are blokes walking out of the salon. What? I found out that the field of the branches ring out movement in different districts of the city, especially that Hopeless scale, but various evidence suggests that the mask and the fact that the group are immediately drawn to their attention suggests that they are the same pack as the one making the clearance. Don't you guys know where you are? You're smack dab in the middle of protected turf. Cause a scene, the Rose's sister in the middle will be here any second. We've already drawn the rings on the wanted petition. We certainly don't want the middle coming after us to the House of Spiders too. Sounds like you've got a GI. You ever played whack-a-mole? Like we give ourselves a countdown and just head back to the door? Now and beat up whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk through the door. She puts us forth a sound strategy, executive manager. Alan blinked through with a puzzled look at her entire squad coming through, pouring through the door long before he finished the lockdown sequence. Due to the newly emergent complications past the door, we have concluded that this location is the optimal point to intercept engaged infiltrators from the ring. This location, you say? Oh wait, this door leads to a zone under the Syndicate or Wing's protection, doesn't it? Better idea to fight here then. Happy to work with someone quick on the uptake. It wasn't long before the foul-list from rushing through the door. I didn't want to summon them while you were relaxing, but well, can't be helped. And I summoned the sinners back to work. Will you play? I think we'll make this. Oh, this is the Ring soundtrack. That's funny. What the heck? Is there flash power going up or something? Your stream title is wrong? Oh! Thank you! Limbus Company. I'm about to be done after this anyways. I probably need a break because there's so much reading in this game. Although I love it. I love it so much. I want to finish it.
소감자들로 효율적인 마무리를 명령하시겠지요. 그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이.
At least the Rhodey ID is a docent, and she's not a maestro, but if they release another maestro ID, I kind of want it. The ring is super cool. They're a little freaky, but I don't know. They have cool abilities. Maestro and Honglu, yeah. But there's other maestros out there. I'm assuming the Phobos one that was here earlier was a maestro too.
이제 그 도통 알아들을 수 없는 말투만 고치면 딱 좋겠어. 4번 수감자.
좋아. 이번에는 제대로 들어가.
좋아해.
놈의 죽음으로 끝내기 죄가 너무 크고. 저기 벌벌 떨고
Why is
있는
this
나머지
guy?
녀석들도 처형한다.
So what does the red blue actually do again? She gives red and blue. It's some kind of support ability. I thought she only gave it to ring IDs, but I thought I saw it on someone else. Yeah, she's got it. 5 red, 5 blue. Is it a buff or a debuff? No, she's applying it. It's probably the unbreakable points that are coming this way. I'm so sleepy. I know, me too. I've been reading so much. Heathcliff Ricardo. I'm gonna have to make a ring team or a middle team. Bro, I have like no middle IDs because I think the middle's kind of lame.
나쁘지 않은 성과입니다.
They're not like lame, but they're like,
영감이 떠올랐어요.
I don't know. They're very like, they do a ton of damage, but they take a ton of damage too. They're too risky to have in Mirror Dungeon, in my opinion. I hate IDs that are just like, I need to take damage. It's not built? Yeah, I don't have it built. I don't even have like middle IDs. Like this? This is a ring ID. That's crazy, you know? How many ring IDs can do that?
도와주시는군요.
Bro, I have ring and blood fiends? Yeah, I think I have like quite a few now. I have a charge. I have a W Corp team, but honestly, the new W Corp
감긴
seems
세
way
바퀴의
cooler.
반지는 마에스트로가
clean up
되기
crew.
위해 인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠.
It's almost 5 o'clock, but I think we should call it here and just take a break for next time. Honglu is crazy. I love him, but I love you saying more. Oh, Nurse Father you saying? I want to get all the Nurse Father IDs. So it's going to be... Because, like, this team number 1, this doesn't have any particular thing. It's just, like, the most OP IDs. Obviously, with this switched out because she has... I think, like, LCA, this is probably her strongest ID, unfortunately. I don't have a lot of... this one's pretty good, too, Magic Bullet. I think Otis needs better IDs. Otis and Sinclair, I think, have the worst. Yeah, like, I don't know. This kind of stuff is just... Was it just bleed? It's bleed and, like, resin. But resin's not really, like, a real thing. Who else had one? I can't remember. I'm probably not gonna bother. It was Kira. She has the Kira ID. Have the 3 prescripts IDs? Yeah, I have that. I have the... I think the prescripts are really good. It's poise syncing. Don't go. I need to take a break and take care of Nora and stuff like that. Have the 3 prescripts IDs and the LC Otis for full stop? Plus full stop? Oh, is that like a poise syncing, but mostly poise? I do have that. That's pretty good. So that's... What is that? The 3... These 3, Honglu, Heathcliff, and then 2 more sinking, I presume. That's a pretty good poise sinking team. I don't even know who I'd pick. Yeah. I mean, the mirror dungeon's reset today, so I guess I'll do it later. But I'm not going to do it on stream because it takes a long time for us to do that. Anyways, let's find someone to rate us out into. Who is currently live? Let's read Mao. I don't know if we read Mao in a while. Thank you for streaming. Yes, I'll be back live tomorrow. Don't worry about it, you guys. If there is an actual boycotts event going on for the thing... Hey, Chris, welcome back. For the thing, if it's just for Thursday, for like a showing of not playing IDV on the new day of the season, I will totally be down for that, and we'll just play something else in the meantime. Maybe we'll catch up on Limbus Company. Maybe we'll catch up on other stuff. There's also like the Cult of the Lamb stuff that we got to do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming today. If you got my raid message, please use raid message 1. If not, please use raid message 2. Let's all go say hi to Mao. D&D was super fun yesterday. If you want to check out the VOD, again, it's on the Hysteria RPG channel. I love you all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye, you guys. Have a great rest of your night.
Are you going into next turn? That's perfect.